Welcome back to Speed Street. Speed Street is live and popping. People are coming from all sorts of places all over the world to be on Speed Street. It is May in Indianapolis. It is hot in Indianapolis, and I wanted to take my shirt off at the track yesterday, so that's when you know it's May in Indianapolis. We couldn't be happier about it. Joey Mulinaro, Connor Daly. What's up, my brother?
You're already staying out at the track?
We have not had our first official night of sleep there, but we're there a lot, to and fro. Yesterday was snack day.
Oh, all right. So filling it up.
Yeah. Taking your advice.
I just got my my inflatable hot tub delivered to the house yesterday. So
nice.
It's in the back of the car now.
Know a lot of people are very excited about that.
Yeah, and here's the main issue that I have with it. And I've already been told that as soon as I get it filled up and ready to go, someone is going to do something awful to it. Because obviously, I've done some, there's been some speculation that I've been involved in some pranks in the bus lot before, right? There's been some speculation that I might have been, involved in certain things. And I don't know why people would speculate about that, but I just have this horrible realization that I get this nice portable inflatable hot tub set up. I'm excited to recover in it, maybe do some sitting and relaxing.
Nice.
And I'm going to get back there and it's going to be filled with goat piss or something like that. Someone's going to just have it filled with some awful fluid.
Wait,
or
Scott
it's
Dixon's
going to
piss in it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be something, but maybe people will feel nice this month of May. I don't know. Maybe their spectacle of the hot tub is just going to be great. I've had a lot of the drivers' wives ask if they could use it already. They're like, "Hey,
sure.
Maybe we have a wives' night. The ladies just get back there, do whatever they need to do. I'm just be asleep. They maybe do some wine and hot tub. I don't know."
Nice. Now, would my wife have to connect with that?
She could, yeah. Wives' night. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, she would like that. Obviously, can't drink but she can have some sparkling or something.
Sparkling sodas,
be involved with that. Now, is this going to be
snacks.
Is this going to be the first hot tub that's ever been in the driver's lot?
So no, I did get this idea from one of my heroes, Thomas Schechter. He had a deal with Royal Spa back in the day, and I believe they brought a real hot tub out and put it in the back of his bus.
Holy cow.
So it has been done before by an absolute hero of the sport. And you know what? I figured this month of May, we're fully back. It's something that I've always wanted to do. And to be honest, I feel like I could actually put this hot tub on my roof as well. When I have a little roof deck and nothing's up there, and there's a little water spigot, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I put an inflatable hot tub on my roof.
Now, is somebody helping you install, or is this all on you?
Me and Kyle Kirkwood.
and rolling the rookie to come out.
Kyle's very into it. He's I told him he had to buy the chlorine and the chemicals for it because he said he wanted to pitch in, and I bought the thing. So I said, well, you can buy all the chemicals. So I think we're going to go out there today and we're going to try to unravel this thing. Very heavy, a lot going on there. I got to get an air pump to obviously inflate the thing. I'm not going to use my mouth. And then, we'll see what happens.
You're just like mom on Christmas style, just freaking
wide
the mouth.
Yeah.
God, it's 90 degrees out of the track.
Idea. Yeah, it's so hot out there already.
Dude, it really is. It's like, I was thinking about it on my drive up to the studio. I was like, man, we're officially, and my back is, the back of my shirt is sweaty from sitting in the seat that I'm just driving in my car because it's that hot. But you know what? We were just 3 weeks ago in April, it was snowing, so not going to complain about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, and today's, it's one of the busiest days already, of the month, and it's only just starting. You know what I mean? Yeah. This morning, I was filming a safety video for Fast Times Indoor Go-Kart Place.
There you go.
Now we're recording. Now I got to go home and get the steering wheel that I left at my house from the simulator that I have to take to the team, build a hot tub, do a charity event. It's all right, you know what? We're back, baby. But it's good. It's exciting. It's gonna be a great time. Got to get the laundry going quick and early. Got to stay ahead of the laundry. You don't have an RV setup there with that, do you? Actually, there is a washing machine in the bus.
Wow.
But I don't think I will use it.
Mount Comfort RV. There you go.
Mount Comfort. We appreciate your support as usual. If you need a bus or a trailer, Mount Comfort.
Really? Yeah.
Those are our guys.
Really, Rusty is the best. And I actually called him yesterday because got into my motorhome after going to Costco with the mother-in-law and the wife to get a bunch of snacks, and it was 95 degrees and the lights wouldn't work. So I was like, what is happening?
No.
Yeah. But
classic mix-up.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What, the plug fall out, or what we got?
No, it was just like, he was like, yeah, just go back to this box back there and
Yeah.
just flip a few things. And then that's what we did. And everything was
bus
fine.
life is interesting. I've encountered many of those things before. You enter and something's not functioning all of a sudden, and you got to become, Bob the Builder of the RV lot all of a sudden. Like, you got to get in there, maybe turn some screws, maybe empty some poop out of a hole. You know what I mean? Like all this stuff.
A lot of screw turning and poop cleaning. Yeah,
exactly.
I'm looking forward to it for the next 2
You're
weeks.
your own janitor.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. Let's get a few things out of the way, though. So, great show today. I mean, it's May. All these shows are going to be really full, just like Connor said, with his schedule, my schedule, but these shows are going to be packed as well. I mean, we got F1 in Miami over the weekend.
A lot to talk about.
We have NASCAR drama, Joey Logano, William Byron, all of that finished that happened. We got the GP coming up this weekend as well, so we're going to have cars on track racing at the world's greatest racetrack out there off 16th at Georgetown. So looking forward to that. And again, a big thank you to our listeners, our fans, our followers. This upcoming Monday, we talked about it last week. We announced we're doing the greatest spectacle in podcasting with our friends from Off Track with Hench and Rossi, and of course, Tim Durham. That went live on Friday, and it sold out completely within the first 2 hours. So
yeah, I didn't even get to tweet about it. I was all the tickets were sold, so we appreciate that.
Connor woke up and was like, well, I guess I'm good. And we were like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So really, really appreciate that. It's going to be a great night. Again, proceeds benefiting the Stop and Go Foundation. We're going to be having some brews. We're going to be just pumping up the excitement for the rest of the month of May because cars are going to be on track the next day. So maybe Connor and Rossi won't have brews, but me, Hench, and Tim will.
Yep.
That's for sure.
There you go. Housing some brews.
Housing them, man. Even those thick IPA joints right to the dome, dude. It's going to be great. But yeah, we're really, really looking forward to it. And so it is sold out, but we thank you for the support, and we look forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, it's our first run at that type of thing. I don't even know how ticket sales work for things like that. So great job to you guys, you technically advanced human beings on figuring that out.
Well, it was a little bit of a shit show, not going to lie. I mean, Eventbrite is fairly easy to use, but all of a sudden I had it set up for this amount of meet and greet tickets to be sold and this amount of GA tickets to be sold, right? And so all of a sudden we're like, everything's going fine, they're flying off, and then it said that 7 out of 20 of the meet and greets have been sold, but it was listing that it was sold out, so people couldn't buy them anymore.
Classic mix-up.
Right. So I'm like, well, those numbers don't add up. That don't make any sense. And so I don't even know what happened. Like, I think Eventbrite just figured itself out and finally opened back up, and we sold out all 20. So looking forward to taking pics and talking with folks a little bit before the show. It's going to be great.
Love it. I think the first thing that we have to dive into is F1 at Miami. I think there's
thoughts. I want to hear what you thought about the whole thing, the whole event.
I mean, a lot of people think the sky is falling. There's a lot of us IndyCar drivers are in group chats, group text messages, a lot of messages floating around, a lot of interesting stuff. I mean, there are many, and I put out there's a tweet. And I got a lot of responses. And many people don't follow me, so they probably will never hear this because you know how Twitter works. Random people that you've never seen before decide to chime in like they know everything about what's going on.
Yep.
And there was just a lot. There was a lot of we hate James Corden now. That guy's a loser.
God, we got to get into that.
He's awful. But there's just a lot of words that get thrown around because they're like literally every day they have a very in-depth broadcast going, right? Live on ESPN, right? So there's a lot to be seen. The commentators, they're the British group of folks that are the main, Sky Sports F1 broadcasters that we've seen for years. And there's a lot that there was a lot of IndyCar drivers down there, obviously, several.
Simon Pagenaud, Elio, Rossi.
That got no attention from that broadcast. And there's a lot of ways to look at this, and there's a lot of opinions that people had of like, well, if IndyCar did this, it would be better. Well, if Formula One, there's a lot of people, there's certain race fans that are obviously going to go to battle for each end of the sport, whether it's NASCAR, Formula One, or IndyCar. Now, I'm more of like I like it all, right? Like, there's a lot of us who just like it all. But there was a certain tweet that got a lot of responses, And I had retweeted Adam Stern, obviously, who's he's basically my main news source for everything in motorsport. It feels like. And the Liberty Media CEO, Greg, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, said that if any of you watch the Indy 500, look at the difference in the coverage and how strong the F1 coverage is versus the Indy 500 coverage. Now, that was an excerpt of the quote. And the full quote was, "We've tried to create a more interesting experience for viewers. Sky does a very good job, and I give them a lot of credit. If any of you watch the Indy 500, and I'm certainly not biased against it because actually we were investors and owners of the team that won the Indy 500 last year, Helio Castroneves, but look at the difference in the coverage and how strong the F1 coverage is versus the Indy 500 coverage. I think you'd walk away thinking the F1 experience on TV is a way better experience." Now, I think he is right, but not like fully right, because obviously F1 in America is broadcast commercial free, right? And like when we buy streaming services like Netflix and whatever it is, HBO Max, whatever you subscribe to, right? No one watches commercials. We don't do that. We pay money, so we don't watch commercials. And so I think that really has kind of electrified, because I don't remember in America ever watching a sport, and I still don't think there's ever a sport that you can watch that has no commercials, right? Like you watch the NBA, you watch the NFL, you watch the MLB, guess what? There's commercials.
Unless Red Zone.
Well, yes. So
you buy
Red Zone. Yeah. So like I love watching Red Zone. You're right. No commercials there. So, realistically, that's kind of new for certainly motorsports fans in our country. I had basically just responded pretty simply by saying, this is tough to read without getting quite frustrated. Now, I wasn't agreeing or disagreeing with him, right?
No.
But there's a lot of people who immediately say, well, he's right. And I'm like, I never said he wasn't right. You know what I mean? But I think that where my frustration comes from is the fact that it is, partially true. Like the coverage that F1 gets in Formula One, like live on ESPN and ABC, they doubled our ratings for most of our races this year so far, right? And that's one race in America. And it's an insane amount of people who, they were, again, on a very easy channel to find, just like NBC is. They were on ABC. And they had a full hour pre-race show, which was actually comical. Martin Brundle interviewing people that he thought was Patrick Mahomes and, getting disrespected by every celebrity on the grid because celebrities don't even live in reality. They don't recognize other human beings that live and breathe. But there's a lot that you can dig into there. But obviously I'm an IndyCar guy, right? And like we put our hearts and souls into showing up to do a job and be entertainers, but also be the best athletes that we can be. And I truly believe that we are undercovered and we just don't have that hype yet. The F1 race in Miami was awful. It was wildly boring.
Really boring.
And the disrespect that Martin Brundle got on the grid is because none of those celebrities actually watch Formula One. Because if you did watch the race, you would realize, that's the guy who's on our ESPN broadcast every weekend. So no one watches the races.
It's all group.
It's all Netflix. You just watch the show.
Yeah.
So they want to be there because F1 is cool. We watch the Netflix show, but you don't actually watch the races because if you did, you'd realize, that's Martin Brundle. Like he's kind of part of the show. You know what I mean? And so that, again, I didn't put that on the Twitter, but like that's something that I want to say is like, it's literally Netflix. Like that's the only thing. And the social content. Like Netflix has driven people to the internet. How do we find out more about Formula One? Because again, most of these races people aren't going to watch because they're at 4 a.m, 2 like wild hours, right? Because they're racing across the world.
Yeah. But
the fact that, they got 2.6 million viewers for a, Sunday race head to head against NASCAR. It's astounding. And it's honestly like we should be a little bit concerned about it because everyone knew that Formula One was happening. No one knows that IndyCar races are happening. We have to market to the people because there's free viewers there. Because again, I always say, how do we get the 3 million people that watch NASCAR every weekend and don't watch IndyCar? Well, Formula One did it. Formula One bridged that gap. They essentially got the same ratings as NASCAR. So there's people there that will watch racing. Like you wouldn't expect there to be like, oh wow, NASCAR and F1 kind of got the same audience. Like maybe were people switching over? I don't know. Like how does that work? So they are there if they know about it. You know what I mean? And I just think it's something that we just have to address. And again, I know a lot of the drivers, most of the drivers are on the same page. But again, who do we like? It's hard because we also have to, we can't obviously just go out there and bash our series because I love our series, right? We're not trying to bash our series. It's like how do we work together to make it better? How do we take that next step as a group? How do we join hands and say, okay, who is going to listen to who, or who is willing to listen to who, right? Because Liberty Media came in, bought Formula One, and I mean, they're now making money on their investment, right? I assume Roger wants to make money on his investment, right? You buy IndyCar, how do we make money eventually?
Yeah,
right.
That's the goal.
I feel like that's the goal.
Usually, when you invest in something, you want to have some ROI,
some
is what they call it. Yeah. Well,
I mean, did you watch all the hoopla? I mean, I assume you saw all the.
I saw the hoopla, but I think, like you said, I see. What we're seeing here is not only the Netflix effect, but you're seeing that elitism. You're seeing that celebrity driven to where you have Tom Brady, David Beckham, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade, DJ Khaled. All of these
Shawn Mendes,
famous people.
I mean, you list the as they said, the list of celebrities there was 2 pages.
Right.
Insane.
Right. So you're seeing all this, and then that, I mean, we live in a society, in a world where everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody thinks that they're an influencer. Everybody wants to follow those people who are doing what they do. So when they see that, then they're like, oh, well, it's cool. Like you said, the only besides Netflix is it's F1 is cool.
Hype. It's the hype.
Right.
Yeah.
So when looking at that, then it's like, okay, do we just have to hopefully, get lucky and have somebody who was born and raised in the Midwest or born and raised in Wisconsin or Indiana who becomes an uber famous celebrity who is an IndyCar fan, and then that, do we rely on that? Do we go out and do we, kind of make an investment to say, hey, we're going to kind of go in the red here to try to get these people to come to these races to then enlist all their followers, all the people who are like, oh, wow, well, IndyCar is cool too, right?
Yeah.
Is that a process that happens,
and I don't know. I think there's a lot that if the people actually cared about the product of the race, right? You would watch IndyCar. But a lot of it these days really isn't about that. It's about creating an event that you want to go to, right? And we can talk about, well, we might need an extra 25 horsepower here and 30 pounds less downforce here. Sadly, we're in an era where I don't think that matters anymore. No. I would love, our racing is okay. I don't think it's awesome right now. I think it's good. I think it's better than F1.
Yeah.
I think we could do way better, and we have done way better in the past.
What would make it more awesome?
I mean, we need to be running 2 and 3 wide, 3 rows deep at Texas, right? 6 rows deep at Texas, but that'll never happen. We need to be, I think.
Why won't it happen?
Just because everyone thinks it's too dangerous, which is sad. But we've gone this route of safety, which is obviously very important. We don't want people to be getting hurt, but I also think we've sacrificed a lot of the racing capability of the car, and our car is also now 10 years old almost, right? So it is 10 years old actually. So it's a 10-year-old chassis, and I think there's been a lot of additions to that for safety that have hurt the balance of the cars a little bit. So but again, we're doing what we can, right? The Aero Kit era, we went through that. We're now in a different era. The engine competition is super strong. It's really, really close. But again, the technical side, don't even have to get into it. Right?
Throw it out the window. Yeah.
We have to throw it out the window because if we do get the people there, it almost doesn't matter, right? Because if we know that our attendance is great for races that are well promoted, Nashville, Indy 500, Gateway, really well-promoted events. We know that everyone's going to come to Road America because it's Road America. We know that everyone's going to come to Iowa because guess what? You got Gwen Stefani, Blake Shelton.
I was just about to say.
Yeah. Incredible. I mean, it's I'm already this is going to be the greatest weekend ever, right?
That's awesome.
Because it's been made a thing, right?
Yeah.
St. Pete, we know, is already well-attended because it's now a household event. We know that Long Beach is well-attended. It's a household event. It's been going on for 400 years. Everyone's going to be there because they love going to the Long Beach Grand Prix. No one comes to Texas because no one knows there's an IndyCar race happening in Texas. Yeah. And honestly, I think our racing was actually good enough there to sustain some entertainment, but no one has any idea that there's a race happening there.
That was
not a clue.
that was the most entertaining race of the year so far.
I think it's great,
by
race.
far.
So the product is not the problem, right?
Yeah.
If you bamboozled a bunch of people and let them know that we're doing crazy speeds, crazy racing at Texas, people will show up clearly because we just got a bunch of people to show up and watch an F1 race that was awful.
Yeah.
At a brand new track, but in a really cool, cool environment, cool city, a lot of celebrities. We just have to somehow get the people to know that we exist. I don't care about our NFTs. I don't care about our app. I mean, those are great things, but you just got to get the people to know.
The IndyCar app is really good.
It is it's a great app.
It's really
but
good.
I don't think if you're going to advertise something on Twitter, it should be just a banner that says we're racing on NBC. Watch it. You know what I mean? If people are going to watch your race, they're going to find your app. Well, right? If they're entertained, they're going to find the app.
Sure. And I mean, there's only 17 of these things.
Yeah.
So and a lot of it's not like they go back to back 17 weeks. So it's
hard.
let's figure out a way. And I know this is us just, hey, let's figure it out. Well, why don't you figure it out?
We're not the answer. We're again, it's much harder than we.
Yeah.
People will probably get mad at me for this episode, but I don't really mind because in the end, I care about this sport. All of the drivers that are in this sport,
your life.
We make money. This is what puts our food on the table, right?
Yeah.
This is what makes us. This is what gives us, life. This is what we love to do. So again, you have to drivers take criticism every day. We are the most criticized people in this sport. So if you're also working in the sport, you have to be able to take the criticism. And it's not even criticism. It's how do we get better?
Suggestive.
Because guess what? Drivers are trashed all the time. Well, you did that. That guy sucks. But guess what? I have to hear that all the time. So guess what? We should all as a group be willing to say, okay, what can we do better?
Yeah.
Because drivers hear it all the time. So if you're not, if no one in our sport is willing to say, okay, what do you think we can do better? Well, then that's not going to get us anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well,
so we got to be willing to work together and take some heat and be like, all right, Formula One just came to America and they made us look like clowns. So this is our month too, right? This is our month.
Yeah.
And all I've heard about so far, I'm not gonna lie, is the F1 race in Miami.
Yep.
It's all I've seen on SportsCenter. It's all I've seen across television. It's all I've seen across the internet. And our biggest race of the year is in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense to you at all? I mean, it might be a bit of an exaggeration, but I go to the internet a lot.
Yeah.
I go to the internet a lot.
Same. I mean, that's how I put food on the table.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I hear you, and it is. I mean, part of it just feels like a perfect storm for F1 with ESPN just kind of taking a flyer and being like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Here we go.
And then there it is. And then, everybody watches ESPN. That's their sports go-to, right? However much we all want to shit on their social channels and how much of a clown show they are now, still, it's when you go to find sports, you find ESPN, you find SportsCenter, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So that this does seem to be a little bit, and then with Netflix, there's a perfect storm brewing right there, and we're seeing it in front of us happening. But what I was saying is that there's only 17 of these things for IndyCar, right? And you see, like you said, the ones that are promoted really well, but then the ones that with the Indy 500, with the snake pit, with the concerts, with the spectacle, with Iowa, with the concerts that are happening there, with the spectacle that they make it out there in Iowa, right? We see that those kind of things come with results.
The outline for success is right in front of us. Right? We see it happening. Now, again, there's money has been dumped into Miami, right? It was literally hundreds of millions of dollars have been sprinkled into that, right? And again, we don't have that. But we don't have nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
We don't have absolutely nothing, right? We have great series partners in NTT. We have Roger Penske. We have Penske Entertainment Group. We have this great group of people that love our sport, right? So what can we learn from them? And honestly, a lot of the times I'm let's just copy some of the stuff, right? Let's do some of the cool stuff. I don't know. It was it was just it was something that, like, for the Indy 500 week, right? Like we do get to do a lot of that cool stuff that they do. Like if there was an NBA Finals game, I'm sure like some of us would go to that. Or like if there is, the first pitches for baseball, there's a lot of different media. Like Elio was on the Today Show this week.
Yeah, that was great. That was
awesome.
Cool.
Elio was great on the Today Show. That's fantastic. But I wish and again, I'm sure that's going to happen race week of Indy 500 as well for the pole sitter or whoever it is, front row, whatever it is. But like, I don't know. It's just something that I was even asked, like, Haley Steinfeld's brother is a friend of mine, right? Like Haley Steinfeld, big celebrity, right? They went to the F1 race. And Griffin, her brother, awesome guy, really cool guy. Met him at Travis Pastrana's house. And, like, I was like, hey, you guys should like come to the Indy 500 too. And they're like, where's that? I was like, but I mean, it's nothing against them because like they like, it's something that like, I don't know, like we just our lack of general awareness for IndyCar is tough to accept because like we know, like everyone here knows, but like anyone outside of the area, like it's still tough. Like we gotta let them know, like, hey, like this is going on. Like everyone knows what the Indy 500 is, obviously, but like we got to make sure that it's like it's plastered in front of you, and it will be. I do believe, like obviously there was a great. During the Kentucky Derby, NBC runs great stuff there, right? But like just any other race, I would just like to see. We just got to get it out there to more people. Like we got to get it out there, and like we could talk about this for hours, right? Like because it's something that we're passionate about. Like I love, and like I don't have the answer. Like I sounds like I'm talking about it like, oh, Connor, that's right. Yeah. He's gonna fix it, but like I don't. But like I'm willing to help. You know what I mean? Like I'm willing to do every day, like whatever I can do to help this series because honestly, like it's something that I'm very proud of, and I don't want to have to explain to people like, well, our sport is this, and like it's really great. Right, like just give us a chance. Like I want people to come to me and be like, yo, that IndyCar stuff's pretty cool. We heard like. Can we like come cut? And be like, yeah, it is cool. Like, you would love to have you out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know, man. Hey, preaching to the choir, and again, I feel like since we've started this show, I've tried to use myself as an example to the people who follow me on the internet and who know of me through whatever avenue they know of. Hey, I'm someone who, until a few years ago, was just kind of like, yeah, I know about the Indy 500. I go to the Indy 500, whatever, but I don't really follow. And then I gave it a chance, and I went out to the practices, and I started watching more, and I started listening more, and I started following the drivers, and I just gave it a chance, and I fell absolutely in love with it. And now it's a huge, huge part of my life. So as a testament, that's where I'm just like, look. I've been on that side where you are, where you're like, what? I don't know. The race in Iowa, who cares? Isn't just the Indy 500 the only thing, right? Isn't that? Yes. I've been on that side, and I'm from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You can make it to the other side too. Yeah. And I'm not saying you have to start a motorsport podcast with an IndyCar driver to be an IndyCar fan. Yeah. I'm just saying, go out, keep up with the drivers, follow them on social media, watch the races, get excited about these cars going fast, and it's really easy to do. I promise.
And there were so many, like I got over 300 responses to this one tweet about that. What I was talking about earlier, right? The TV broadcast, TV, and that's just. It wasn't like It wasn't like a talk about the weekend. It was literally just about television, right? Yeah. And there were so many interesting responses because it was great to see, what people think. It was a very, very diverse opinions on like, this is why we like it, this is why we don't like it, or this is what we support, this is what we don't support. You know what I mean? And like,
did anybody have anything that was interesting about? Oh, I mean, something that stuck out to where you're like, well, besides the Netflix cool factor right now of F1, was there anything where you're like, oh, they got a point there?
Well, there's a lot of, I read one tweet right out the gate. IndyCar equals more competitive. F1 equals more glitzy / higher stakes. I don't know if I agree with that because what we do is more dangerous, right? Peacock NBC equals excellent coverage, excellent announcers, but too many ad breaks cutting away from race footage, especially from Peacock Premium users. F1 TV equals excellent coverage, lots of content, but paywall, right? So like, and again, I think there's many different ways you can watch it in Europe, et cetera, whatever it is. There's just a lot of F1 coverage that I do love, and the quality of the broadcast is great. The quality of the onboard cameras are incredible. We need every like right out the gate, we need every car to have an onboard camera, right? Like we need more coverage of all the other cars. Like a lot of this does come down to NBC, right? Who's the director? I don't know. But there's so much racing going on in the field. Like we saw in Miami, right? The race is awful, but you still saw people fighting for 18th and 17th. It's all important. It's all racing. So like, gosh, we have to just diversify our broadcast. I feel like if you were to poll IndyCar fans or just people that watch our races, I would guarantee you they only see 5 cars.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like, you want me as a viewer, like I want to see the passes. I want to see
any pass. Doesn't matter if it's 17th.
Exactly, right? Because then that's where the action is. You know, it's like God love your teammate Renus last weekend or a couple weekends ago at Barber. It's like for a long time in that race, he was leading up front, and we saw a lot of them, and it was great. But it's like, hey, we're just kind of watching Renus run laps. Like, what's going on?
There's a lot going on,
right? So I hear you. I hear you on that end for sure.
Yeah. And again, that won't change overnight unless someone's willing to be like, you know what, let's try that out. Like, I'm sure the business is a lot harder than I make it sound, but like, hey, maybe we have a great race this weekend at the Indianapolis Grand Prix circuit. Maybe we try to diversify things a little bit. And again, maybe there's people getting paid at NBC. Like, obviously these sponsors, the cars that have the onboard cameras pay for the onboard cameras. So you know what? Maybe it's as simple as that. We're all a bunch of poor people that don't have onboard cameras and we don't get any TV coverage. Like, I wish that wasn't the case because, again, in Formula One, everyone has onboard cameras. And, like, everyone pays to be a part of that series like we do in IndyCar. We pay entry fees. You pay certain things to be a part of IndyCar, right? Why? Like, I don't know. Like, so there's a lot there. That's a whole different discussion. But I think there's more racing to be seen, and I think our fans want to see it, so let's put it on there.
Yeah, let's put it on there.
Let's just show something. Let's do it through the field. I don't even remember the last time I saw a through the field segment. Goodness gracious.
You know what? Maybe I'll just start going live on Twitter, and I'll through the field at myself. Yeah. Let's make it clear before we transition to something else for listeners, to the viewers out there. The only reason that Connor and I have talked about this for so long and have gotten so passionate about it is because obviously we are so passionate about the sport, about the series. We love it. We want it to succeed, obviously. So I don't want to see a bunch of comments or whatever about, oh, well, they're trashing. What? It's not meant to be that at all.
Well, which I don't think we have. I think we present it in a way
you
where
know how people online are, whatever. So just make that clear. All right.
Yeah. And we just we had 900 and something thousand people watch our broadcast in Alabama, right? Which is great. But 2.6, there's millions of people out there that I think would be entertained by our sport.
Yep.
And so, how do we get to that next step? And that's all we're trying to do is like, I think there are people that listen to this podcast. Like I've got messages from folks that are, like that are very upstanding media members that were at the Formula One race, right? Covering it. And like, it was really cool to see a lot of like the Jenna Fryers, Jeff Gluck, like all those like people that I follow on Twitter that were like, taking pictures of all the celebrities there, taking pictures of, the IndyCar drivers that were there. And, it was cool to see Colton Herta get a lot of coverage down there, which I thought was cool because like, he's obviously probably going to be an F1 driver. I hope he deserves to be. And Michael Andretti being down there and, like, again, I still think there's so much disrespect towards Americans that are trying to be a part of the sport. Like, we want to have a big event, and there was a big event there, and, like, it was awesome, and, like, it made those teams a lot of money, and it's going to make the sport a lot of money. But then we start talking about American drivers and American teams, and they're like, well, I don't know about that. And I'm like, well, do people not realize how much like they hate Americans? Like, it's absurd.
Well, I did think, I found myself thinking about how funny it is that it's like, all I kept seeing this weekend was, well, F1's gamble in America pay off, and F1 is really trying to capitalize on America. And I'm like, well, hey, maybe why don't you get an American driver?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're coming to Miami now. You're coming to Vegas. You're
it's
already
so
at COTA.
Obvious to me.
Like,
I was having this conversation this morning with Kevin Lee from NBC, and I was like, do you not see how much they're trying to force out American drivers and American teams? Like,
but then come on to the turf.
Yeah, then come here. I don't know. It's obvious to me. I was only because like if I didn't race over there for 4 years of my life, if I didn't dedicate every moment of my life to trying to be a Formula One driver for a while and waving the American flag on top of the podium on Formula One weekends, I did that. Like I saw that. I saw it with my own eyes how much disrespect that I got, even as a winner, even as someone who like fought against Carlos Sainz, Danny Kvyat, guys that like are in Formula One, like Valtteri Bottas. Like I know those guys, right? Like to see the struggles that Michael and to know, like, because I know those, a lot of it, like, I drove for Michael. Like, I know those guys very well. I know the people who are involved trying to get them on Formula One team, right? And it's like, why are we closing the door? I watched HRT and Marussia get a Formula One team right out the gate, and they ran it like it was a children's playground. Like it was, they were horrible teams, like slow. They built terrible cars, and they ran around the back and then eventually went away. You're telling me that you're going to make it more of a difficult time for Michael Andretti, who runs a super team here, who has a V8 supercar team, who has a Formula E team, who has everything, who has an incredible business mind. You're telling me you're going to be like, well, I don't know about that. He should be brought right in the front door and say, welcome to Formula One. Yeah. I mean, maybe, no. Well, and my brain is not that smart, but I don't know.
I do Q&As on Instagram, try to like once a week. And a fairly common question that I've been getting, over the last 6 months is like, hey, why aren't you into F1? When are you going to get into F1? Like we see that you like IndyCar, we see that you like NASCAR. When are you going to get into F1? And I keep saying, I'm like, hey, call it whatever you want to call it, but I'm not going to step into that world until that world is brought to me. Like in terms of like, I'm not.
Who am I going to cheer for?
Right, and it's like we call it whatever you want to call it, but like until I got my boy Colton Herta or someone like that in there, why would I? When I can watch my pals race every weekend here, I can watch NASCAR guys that I know and chat with race.
Relatability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
relatability.
It's
like, and we'll get on a NASCAR race here, but like the drivers in Formula One now who like used to be like probably like pretty close friends of mine, like Carlos and I, we traded helmets, guys like that, but like they're the most famous people in the world right now. Mm-hmm. I truly believe, like, if you watched how they entered the paddock and watched how other celebrities who are like wildly famous, like were trying to hang out, like Pierre Gasly's going to dinner with Michael Jordan and like trading helmets and shoes, like. That's insane. Yeah. I truly believe right now, Formula One drivers are almost the most famous athletes on the planet. Yeah. I truly believe so.
I mean, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen.
I truly believe when it comes to world fame, mm-hmm. I would say some of the F1 drivers are probably more famous than like Steph Curry, or guys like
pretty close.
Ezekiel Elliott, like let's
way
say
more
any
famous
top,
than
any
Ezekiel,
top NFL player, right? Yeah. Patrick Mahomes. Well, Patrick Mahomes was
obviously we saw that he's not too famous for him.
and I was like, I truly believe right now there's some of the most famous athletes. They certainly don't answer my texts anymore. That's without a doubt. Haven't been able to get a text back from any of those guys, any of my friends in months. I was going to ask one of them to be on the podcast. Nope, didn't get a text back on that.
See ya. Yeah,
but like it's because they're celebrities now. Like they're racing drivers. They're doing they're providing us, but like they're literally like, well, we don't exist anymore. Yeah. Other people don't exist anymore, but that's cool. Like.
That's the goal.
We're obviously never going to get to that point in IndyCar, but like, man, it'd be cool to at least get close.
Yeah, we can get close. We keep striving.
Just get famous enough to where other people don't exist anymore. I hate that. I would never want to be like that guy, but man, that's kind of what Formula One's turned into.
Yeah, man.
Which is wild.
Well...
Anyway, NASCAR racing.
It's been a great. We talked about a lot of really good things. I felt like this was a nice vent sesh a little bit, but I know. Look,
but I think these are things that people are also passionate about, right?
Yeah, for sure. But now we could take it upon ourselves for the next 3 weeks to capitalize, to take over, to turn the eye and the focus. We're back on Indianapolis, on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, on IndyCar, on Connor Daly, Joseph Newgarden, Alexander Rossi, Marco Andretti, all these people, boom, household names, and it's happening right in our backyard. So now it's on us. We're going to turn this note into positive.
Oh, yeah.
We're making it happen. We're blowing up on the interwebs. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And it starts this weekend, man, with the GP.
I'm excited. It's going to be a great race. Last year, I know we qualified well there last year. We had Renus on the podium. Renus has won that race.
I feel like this is a good course for you. Like, I feel like
Renus won that race. Yeah,
well, not your team, obviously, but for you specifically.
I've led a lot of laps here at this race before. We probably should have won it in 2016. But we got jumped in the pits by Penske, which happens often for Penske. I mean, and but we had a great
pit jumpers.
Past still one of my most proud moments in my career is passing Elio for the lead at the Indy GP and leading that whole stint. And coming into the pits, we had. It was one of those cool moments where Gary Gerald was, I think, reporting in our pit box. He's like, "Well, Connor Daly's leading the Indy GP here for this final pit stop." And I was like, "That's pretty cool." You know what I mean? Like, I was a rookie. Yeah. I was a younger kid back then. But yeah, man, love this track. I think it provides a great opportunity to race. I think it's a much better racing track than Barber. So we'll see a lot more overtaking. We've seen some great racing here in the past, and we got great NBC coverage. You know what I mean? We're boom. Network NBC,
boom, yeah.
Saturday, 3 p.m., like something like mid-afternoon. It's perfect time for, post-brunch. Maybe you're still at brunch. Maybe you're getting ready to go to the bars for a nice little afternoon on the sun. It's going to be a great time to watch a race. And, I mean, this race as well is one of the most competitive because it's a very, precise road course. It's a Formula One style track. So you're going to see the closest qualifying field I think you're going to see of a road course all this year. Maybe not quite as close as St. Pete was, but it's going to be tight. And that's what IndyCar racing is all about. It's super close times. So
how'd you feel in the sim? How are you feeling going in?
Sim was good. We were in the simulator yesterday, working towards just trying to be better, right? We did a lot of work at Detroit and we did a lot of work at the Indy GP. And so we're just trying to get ready for the next couple races. And I feel ready. I think, we're going to need, everyone's going to be better though. So we're going to need to be a little bit better ourselves. And I'm confident that we will be. So it'll be fun. I think we want to come home with some trophies.
Hell yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. And not only with the great NBC coverage, but, I was on a podcast last night, went out to Newcastle, our great friends, the Morals from the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. You got to check them out. But Jeremiah Morrill, Zach Burcham, Sarah Morrill. Anyways, they were talking, and we were talking on the show, and I was like, look, for people who are in the area, for people who are traveling through whatever, like this is a fantastic weekend to get out to the track, because when it's carb day, when it's race weekend, I mean it's a madhouse, rightfully so, and it's packed and it's great. But if you're just looking to get out there to experience it, to experience the coolness, the cars on the track, what a great weekend for it this weekend, man. Start your month off.
Weather's going to be good.
Weather's going to be hot. Weather's going to be good. You got full day of practice and qualifying on Friday. Take a half day or something, or a full day off on Friday. Everybody's working from home. It don't matter anyways. Go out there. I'm going to be out there. Obviously, Connor's going to be out there with the helmet on behind the wheel. But I'm going to be watching cars do laps. And but then Saturday, it's family friendly. It's affordable. It's accessible. It's a great weekend to be out there. If hopefully you're watching, if you're not in the area, or even if you are in the area and you don't want to go, but you make it out there. It's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that's going to be great. I still also want to get into the NASCAR race, right? We mentioned that there was a lot of, again, what was very interesting about like the middle of the Formula One races, I was like, I kind of want to watch Darlington. You know what I mean? Like, 1,000%. I love oval racing and I love NASCAR racing. And, I got home in time after the F1 race, obviously, to watch the last 100 laps of Darlington. Yeah. Ross Chastain spinning while leading was, man, wild. But again, shows how hard these new Cup cars are to drive. I'd actually love to talk to Ross about that. I went to Nice Motorsports yesterday a little bit, who runs Ross and the trucks. I'm trying to work on a truck deal, no big deal, to do one truck race. Well, hopefully we can get that done. But yeah, seeing how good Ross Chastain has been and that Trackhouse team, I'd actually love to interview Justin Marks too at some point. Great team owner, great person in general, lover of all motorsport, loves IndyCar, loves Formula, everything. But yeah, Ross has been so strong. But again, these Cup cars are tough to drive, clearly. I mean, I don't even remember the last time I've seen a driver literally just spin while side by side with another car. It just goes to show you how on edge they are and how hard that Darlington track is, right? That's a tough track. I've never driven there, but would love to. And we saw a lot of some crazy accidents, some crazy wrecks there. But then you saw just old Joey Logano absolutely hammering William Byron into the wall. Now, it didn't look like a lot, but that is a lot. Like when you get fired off into the wall like that, and old buddy Byron has no right sides left, like both tires. Yeah. They showed his car at the end of the race. Both right sides were blown off the sucker. Like that was crazy.
When the term punted gets thrown around quite often,
that was it.
That's it. And that means
we can't do that in IndyCar, sadly. Right. Or else there'd be a lot more of that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you thought that it was a lot from Logano. Did you agree, disagree?
So I don't know Joey Logano. I probably met him once or twice. I don't like the way he races. I really don't. I think there's a few people that would say that. But he's very good.
I mean, he got booed pretty heavily.
Very aggressively. I wish that wasn't like, but again, we saw kind of, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick fighting for it at the end of the dirt race, right, at Bristol. Mm-hmm. But again, that was kind of like Chase kind of admitted that it was kind of his mistake, right? Going in there, he was going to spin anyway, and you kind of got to go for it. But like this was kind of it just seemed like I'm going to eliminate that person. Like, not going to like just move him a little bit. I'm going to eliminate that person from the race because that's almost essentially what he did. I don't even think William Byron finished in the top 10. Like
I think
he
13th.
Might have, but yeah, like
it
was something where like, man, like, and I listened to Dale Jr.'s podcast. I listened to Dale Jr. Download, and they were talking about it as well. It's like you can remove someone from the race, or you can just move him out of the way, right? Like, I think it was way too aggressive.
Did it feel like it looked like he had, I mean, he was getting a run on him. It looked like quick, he could have just,
Well, it's hard to pass. Obviously at Darlington it is. Yeah. And you got to move some people. But old Billy Byron did not, he did not. And I loved his interview afterwards because he basically just called Joey Logano a moron, which I think,
he said, that dude's an idiot.
Great for the sport.
Said, idiot and moron in the same sentence.
Great words to be used. Incredible.
And the hot mics caught him dropping F-bombs when he got out of the car. So Jeremiah was telling me apparently Liberty, his sponsor, Liberty University, is not happy. They're a big religious school.
Yeah, my cousin goes to Liberty, and it's something that apparently you're not allowed to say there.
Yeah, I think even if Jesus Christ got bumped like that, he'd drop a few F-bombs.
Man, are you kidding me? Jiminy Christmas. That was an aggressive... just firing off into the wall. So
when Logano got out of the car, they obviously asked him about it, and he was just like, "Yeah, well, you're not gonna," with his mouthy, teeth and everything. He was like,
"I know exactly what you mean. You should do a Joey Logano
I'm trying to work on it. I haven't started, but You're not gonna bump me like that and I get away with it." So did you think that old Billy Byron bumped him enough to warrant that kind of response?
No, old Bill Byron, he was not. That was not egregious. I mean, side by side racing at Darlington, I think from what it looks like is obviously it's tough because that track with the way the banking increases and the way the inside line and the way the outside line is the fastest. I think if I was a driver, I'd be like, oh, shoot, old buddy, kind of forced me up into the wall a little bit. But no, he didn't wreck you, Joey. Like, you were right there. You just lost the lead. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still think that, guess what? Welcome to NASCAR. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of it. You're going to be rubbing elbows. Your fenders are going to be a little bit, scraped up. But, yeah, he just fired him off.
Okay.
And you know what? In the end, it's a great story to talk about, and Joey wins, and there's no penalties in NASCAR, so guess who's going to get fired off in another race at some point? Probably Joe Logano.
Joey Logano.
I think, one of the best things. That's why I actually love that there are so many races in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Because not that you can afford to give up a race, but like, you know what? Guess what, Bill Byron? I assume that you're probably going to eliminate Joey from a race. And you know what?
For sure.
Joey's already got a win. So Joey's in the playoffs, which again, that system works for them. Whereas like for us, man, if we lose one of our 17 races, whoa, that's tough. There's only 17 of them. We need 20 to 22 races, I think. Like, and then it becomes like you don't get, if you happen to bump elbows or rub doors with someone in IndyCar, you know what? Well, if you finish 12th or 13th because of it, guess what? You got another one.
Yeah.
But man, our races are. We got to have more races.
Too crucial.
Yeah. It was a great ending, and the whole weekend NASCAR racing, it was great. The truck race I thought was awesome. The Xfinity race I didn't get to see much of it, but the junior motorsports team was doing real work. Justin Allgaier, great guy, like Justin Allgaier a lot. Winner incredible to see that. Our boy Noah Gragson, right there again.
Love Noah.
He's a great driver. I think.
Love that
guy's
guy.
right in the fight all
Love
the time.
to get him out to IMS this month. I know.
Well, they're busy.
I know they're busy,
but they will be out here in August.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to get him in a live show.
Yeah, absolutely. Talked with Jimmy Johnson over the weekend.
You did? Oh yeah.
Saw him on the red carpet. Horses were great. Kentucky Derby, phenomenal. Rich Strike comes out of nowhere. Bumped elbows with a lot of cool people. It was a fantastic time. You never been to the Derby, have you? You're busy.
Not yet. I have not been yet.
You would love it. It's definitely an event for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They were just handing out mint juleps like they were candy, dude.
Not good for diabetes, I assume.
A
lot of sugar in the juleps.
Probably.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. Talk with Jimmy. Hopefully going to get him in eating some donuts with me. Whoops, there goes the wallet.
Dropping stuff left and right here.
He is. That's
Jimmy looked good.
That's
I'm not gonna lie.
That's some bitch handsome.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked
him
about
and Rutledge Wood looked good down there too. And Dale Jr. was there.
I didn't even get to see Dale Jr. I was bummed.
Yep,
I thought I ran into him, but
they got to interview Drake and Jack Harlow.
I saw that.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I watched that interview yesterday, and Drake was drunker than a herd of turtles. I mean, he's like, they were like, Drake literally said to NBC Live, he's like, and we're drunk. And I was like, you know what, Drake? I haven't seen you interact in this way before, but I'm kind of a fan.
Well, Jack Harlow don't drink, apparently.
But
Drake does.
Drake does. Drake was definitely on the sauce, and I respect him for that.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Harlow gave the call up for the riders, which was awesome to see. I didn't. Yeah, that Dale Jr. interview. I gotta look that up because
it's on. What do
they even talk about? You know, but Jimmy was very cordial, great guy. Looking forward to, like I said, hopefully talking with him more coming up here this month. But he was super excited to promote the Indy 500, which is great.
Saw your
Jimmy Johnson down there.
Yeah, I mean, again, Jimmy's our guy, right? Yeah. We got to ride with Jimmy till we die.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's a huge celebrity for us to ride the coattails of, and so let's do it.
Yeah,
keep pumping them out there. I mean, I wish old Christian Lundergardner Smith was down there too, but we didn't see him.
Oh yeah,
we dn't see him on the NBC broadcast, sadly, which was a shame. But
Gardner
Smith was down there.
He was. Yeah, that's right. I was kind of like Drake. I was I was a little saucy, but yeah, I remember I got a message from Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan on Instagram. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then they were like, "Hey, Christian's down here. Would love to see you or something." And I was like, I'm too drunk.
Yeah, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken, Linda Gardner Smith.
To taste this mint julep.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it was dope. So
yeah, I think that was. It looked like a great time, great event. It's a great for our partner in NBC. We had a great Indy 500 commercial. Apparently, I didn't see it. We were busy trying to get ready for Rev big event this weekend.
Love
very
Rev.
excited.
Was bummed to have to. I hate that it's on the same night because now I want to go to the Derby every year, but I do also love Rev.
How was interacting with Rappaport?
Great. He was awesome.
That was a great little interview. I saw.
Thanks, man. He was.
That guy's really famous.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was like honestly, like after I turned to the camera, I was like, I didn't even know he knew me. That was great. So he was like, super fun.
I hope this guy knows me.
Yeah. Are you a Breaking Bad guy? I forget.
So I did begin to watch it. Yes.
Dean
did
Norris.
Not finish it.
I don't know. He's like a badass on that show. Dean Norris, whatever. He was there, so that was cool to see. He's a short little dude, but yeah, it was a great experience, man. We gotta make it happen. Hopefully,
at some point, I'm sure I will. But I'm a Rev guy. I like supporting Rev.
That's cool.
I like going there eating food.
A lot of good food.
A lot of good restaurants there. And yeah, I mean, it just again the hype around the Indy 500 was real because this is the first year that I've done Rev where like 20 people have asked me for tickets, and I didn't have any tickets to give anyone. I was like, I don't have any tickets to give anyone. And like, this is the first year where our buddy Chris Burton, owner of the Oakmont, one of the owners of the Oakmont, great restaurant downtown, he's like, this is the first year I've ever had to buy like suite tickets because like I haven't been able to get anything from it. Like, people are going to this race, like the Indy 500. Like, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be well attended. And so we just want to make sure that everyone knows that. And you know what? I want it to be a sellout of grandstand seats. Like I want all those 240,000 permanent seats, whatever. I want them to be sold out.
Oh yeah.
I want you to not be able to buy a grandstand ticket because guess what? They're all sold.
There you go.
And I think we're going to get close to that. And I think it's going to be cool. I think, I mean, it's definitely here. There's a lot of exciting things that are going on. We got like today's a stack day, tomorrow's a stack day. We got people, media happening. We got great things happening. We got great people that are coming to the 500. I know for sure. I got couple buddies that are coming that's are going to be super pumped about it. So we just got to keep pumping it out there, man. We got to pump it out to the people. We got to have a great podcast event next week, and I mean, there's going to be great racing to be covered.
For sure. I agree on all ends.
We can't get lost in the sauce.
In the horsey sauce? I might. But
you might. I can't wait to have a nice little if you ever need any extra cocktails, I got the bus full of them. I can't drink any of them during May.
Oh, well,
but you know what?
My in-laws are they're lending us their golf cart.
Oh.
So I'll be skirting my way on over there.
I just got a golf cart. I got to get it today or tomorrow morning.
Hell yeah. Let's wrap up. Let's do the random Ricky Treadway and random Indy 500 driver of the week.
Yes, we have to do this live and in person. What year should we go to? Let's do Joey picks the year.
Wow.
Let's go real old.
Hold on.
No, 92. We got to go older because we found some wild names.
Which one's on my hat here? I think 70.
I can't read it. No, turn the other way. 70. No, that's 83. That's 1983.
Okay. Well, does that
do the
good?
Yeah, we'll do
All right,
1983 Indy 500 field.
Right.
I really hope that this segment gets like a real sponsor at some point.
Oh, it will. I'm still waiting for that T-shirt with the whole grid of all of them.
The 1983 Indianapolis 500. Oh, Tom Sneva. Yeah, my uncle was on Tom Sneva's team when he won this race.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he didn't get a ring, which he should have, and I think he deserves. Oh, man, a lot of great names in this event. Old Chip Ganassi finished 8th. Everyone knows Chip Ganassi, though. Derek Daly finished 19th.
Nice.
I know that guy. Oh, my gosh, a lot of great names in this one. We can go with we've done one. We've done one driver from this before. But let's go with Michael Chandler. Because I don't know Michael Chandler.
Sounds like an actor in like a 90s sitcom.
It does. Yeah, he plays like the second lead.
Yeah, for sure.
Second lead actor in that 70s show. Michael Chandler.
Yeah, definitely. Could believe it 1,000%.
Yeah, so I don't know who Michael Chandler is, but let's click on him. Let's click his name. Michael Chandler, born April 21st, 1958, San Marino, California. Now we have to Googleize him. Michael Chandler, Indy 500.
I've never heard this name.
I don't know Michael Chandler. Michael Otis Chandler. Great middle name. Former driver in the Kart Championship Series, raced in the 1980-1984 seasons, 9 career starts. Started in the Indianapolis 500, 1981-1983. A near head-on crash in practice. Wow. Left him in a coma for several days, prematurely ending his career. Man, Michael Chandler, tough.
Was that 83? Is that 83?
No, 1984 race crash in practice.
So 83 was his last 500?
Yes. No, I don't know. Yeah, 1983 was his last 500. But Michael Chandler. I did not know much about Michael Chandler. Michael's the son of Los Angeles Times publisher Otis Chandler. Huh. That's interesting. L.A. Times.
So close to
L.A.
acting.
Times, yeah.
You're close. Is he still with us?
I think so.
Okay.
It looks like it. Good. It doesn't say R.I.P. Mike Chandler.
So he recovered nicely. That's great.
He was born in 1958. So he's 64 now, right? Is that math correct?
74? 74. I think. 58?
I'm terrible at math.
I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Oh, no, this was last updated in 2014. So.
No.
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
Well, hopefully
he's still alive. I don't know.
With us. But nonetheless, he did recover.
And also loved to see this. The chassis that he drove in the 1983 Indianapolis 500 was a rattlesnake.
Oh, sick.
Rattlesnake chassis.
Nice.
And finished 16th. Actually, all of his Indy 500s, solid finishes. Started 30th in 1983, finished 16th. 1982, started 22nd, finished 17th. And in 1981, started 25th, finished 12th.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's up.
Go.
We're plus spots.
He's a big positive guy.
Good.
Big mover.
All
Big
right.
mover in the field, Mike Chandler.
There we go. Mike Chandler. Shout out to you, man.
Mike Otis Chandler.
Mock.
That's our guy.
All right, good deal, man. What a show!
There was
really,
a lot there.
Feeling a lot of energy, a lot of passion from this show. Love it. Thanks again to everybody who snagged tickets for the Greatest Spectacle in Podcasting coming up on Monday night, May 16th at Sun King Brewery off College Avenue in downtown Indianapolis. Can't wait to see everybody out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're still kind of working on the mock-up of the show, so maybe there'll be some listener or some audience questions or something. I don't know. We'll see. No promises, but the promise is we will be there from 6 to 8. Looking forward to taking pictures and talking with the meet and greet folks. It's just going to be a fantastic night. So thanks again for buying those. Be sure to follow us at Speed Street Pod, Instagram and Twitter right there. And then give us a download. Give us a subscribe on on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. We're on YouTube now. Joey Mulinaro has got a Speed Street playlist there, so you can see us, see our faces while you listen. And for people who are, with the review is important. I was thinking about it, and people hammer that home so much because, look, when you're online, you're looking for a business, you're looking for a restaurant. What do you look at? Oh, wow, they got a lot of reviews. They say this is a good restaurant with good food.
Great Yelp score.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you go to that. So that's why it's important. Just think about it that way. Leave us a quick review or rating. That'd be fantastic. Connor, you got anything else?
I don't think so. Be sure to just come say what's up and buy merch from the shop. Because they're gonna be out there buy our merch. We gotta wheel it out there. We gotta wheel it out, and just tell all your friends to buy tickets to the Indy 500 because we're gonna sell this sucker out.
Selling this sucker out, exactly. Love it. All right, we'll see you guys on Monday night, and then until next time, we'll talk to you on Speed Street.